Hi folks, hope you're okay today. I just want to share with you some Bible study resources that will help you. And that is a great Bible scholar and teacher, Alexander MacLaren, was born on the February 11th, 1826 and died in Manchester on May 5th, 1910. He became a minister at Union Chapel in Manchester and preached to about 1,500 strong. And basically he expounded the Bible Sunday morning, Sunday evening, at a Thursday Bible lecture and a prayer meeting, and he went through the whole Bible systematically. And so there's a big resource of Bible study material there for you that you can go for free and get on PDF for free. So I'd encourage you to go down and go and read Alexander MacLaren's material. It's simple, it's easy to read, but he was an expert in Greek and he was an expert in Hebrew, and so it's very simple, but there's very profound material there. So I hope that's a blessing to you. Hi folks, this is Jay. Hope you're okay today. I just want to encourage you to look at various theological resources as well on this channel, and so from time to time I'll put you in contact with theological resources that you can go and study. One area is John Nelson Darby and the Plymouth Brethren. I just hear John Nelson Darby was born 18th of November 1800 and died 29th of April 1882, and was an Anglo-Irish Bible teacher, an influential figure in the Plymouth Brethren. This is on Wikipedia. And he was considered to be the father of modern dispensationalism, etc., and did a Bible translation because he was a bit of an expert in Hebrew and Greek. Now J. N. Darby became an Irish clergyman, converted a lot of people from Catholicism to Christianity in saving grace, and then he fell out with his denomination. He began to meet with others and have breaking of bread, and he became a formidable lecturer and Bible teacher. He went to Geneva and made some lectures there. He went to the UK, started many brethren meetings there. There was a dispute amongst the brethren between the open brethren and the closed brethren, which was about church discipline, and Darby became the leader of the exclusive or closed brethren. J. Darby developed, like I said, he did his Bible translation. He developed a dispensational kind of theology. He taught that the rapture was a secret rapture. Charles Spurgeon at the time believed that Darby had gone off the rails a little bit because he didn't teach a full gospel in terms of that not only Christ's death is accounted to us, but his active obedience as well. After Jane Darby, Mackintosh took over and taught Darby's teaching. So the Brethren movement have had a massive influence and they did do a lot of good work. They planted many churches. The 70s and 80s, there was a big split amongst the exclusive brethren between the Taylorites and whatever. But there is a lot of spiritual resources there that you can read and study. I don't agree with the dispensational theology, but I believe that Jane Darby was a man of God. I believe many of the brethren writers were people of God. I believe that they were off the rails on some theological issues, but I believe that God used them in a mighty way. And so those are just some thoughts about Jane Darby and the Plymouth Brethren. So I'll link to them, and you can go and study them, and that's a whole world of you to study. Alright, so thank you for listening and take care. Hi folks, hope you're okay today. We're going through theological resources and trying to encourage you to read widely. And now we're just going to be thinking about Richard Baxter, a Puritan. Just get you the dates. He was born 12th of November 1615 and died 8th of December 1691. He was an Anglican minister. He was a peacemaker. He tried to keep the peace with the Congregationalists and the Presbyterians, but he was an Anglican minister and a great evangelist. He went round to all his, he was at Kidderminster, and he went round to all his congregation teaching the Bible and catechizing them and really working hard to get them strong in their faith. He wrote some great books like The Reformed Pastor and a lot of devotional works, and he is a great theologian, and anything of Baxter is worth its weight in gold. And as a pastor, as a Christian, you will be so enriched by reading Richard Baxter. I'm going to link to his works and enjoy. Hi folks, we're looking at various theological resources, and I want to bring your attention to a Catholic theologian called Bernard of Clairvaux, 1090 to 1153. He was a French abbot and a primary developer of the Cistercian order, and he developed a monastery up to, well, he developed a number of monasteries, but he developed a monastery up to about 700 monks. He was a formidable man for his age. In the age that he lived, he kind of dominated that age theologically. He had rivals like Abelard, and he defended against Abelard's theology, and he sermonized and did writings against Abelard, and he's definitely a theologian that's worth reading. You can get a lot out of him for your spiritual life, and he's definitely an interesting character. He worked hard to try and unite the Catholic Church when there was schism, and I think he was just a formidable character, a man passionately ablaze for God, and definitely someone who's worth reading. Hi folks, hope you're okay today. It's good to be with you. One of the most profound writers on prayer that has ever lived is E.M. Bounds, or Edward M. Bounds, and he was an amazing character. Born in August 15th, 1835, and died August 24th, 1913. He was a clergyman in the Methodist Episcopal Church in the South. He'd fought in the American Civil War on the South Side. He got captured. He was released. And then in his own town, he began to hold prayer meetings and began to develop the town spiritually. And he spent many long hours in prayer, and it was through that long hours of prayer where he perhaps wrote some of the richest books on prayer that you could ever read. They are rich for matter, they're rich for wisdom, they're rich for biblical content, and quite simply they're perhaps some of the best books ever written on prayer, and there's a large number of them, so I would encourage you to read them. Hi folks, hope you're okay today. It's good to be with you. I want to encourage you to read Joseph Butler. He was a bishop of Durham, a theologian, apologist, born on May 18, 1692, and died June 16, 1752. He was a theologian, apologist, and philosopher. He was born in Wantage, Berkshire, England. His books are 15 Sermons on Human Nature, 1726, Analogy of Religion, Natural and Revealed, 1736. The later work is an important work in apologetics and has influenced C.S. Lewis and John Warwick Montgomery. Butler died in Bath in 1752, and people, quote, praised him as an excellent man and diligent, conscientious churchman. Butler's work is a very important apologetic work using the culminative case method, similar to Dr. Fernandez today. where it works on probability, using various evidences in a cumulative case defense of the Christian faith, working on that's a probable that the Christian faith is true, so it's working on probabilities. But very good writer, great theologian, and well worth reading. Hi folks, hope you're okay. I'm going to recommend you a systematic theology book by James Petigru Boyce, 1827 to 1888, Southern Baptist theologian, and he was president of the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary. He taught theology from 1859 to 1888, and he believed in the importance of ministers having theological education, and he wrote Abstract of Systematic Theology, which he believed is a practical kind of systematic theology, not a theoretical scientific book. So I'd encourage you to read his book. It's a great theology book, and if you want to get a ground or grasp of theology and biblical theology, he's really good. Hi folks, hope you're okay today. It's good to be with you, and I just want to share with you one of my all-time greats that I love. Theologian is John Calvin. He is my favourite of favourites, and I just think his exposition of the Bible is great. He started off, I'll just tell you a little about him. He was born July 10th, 1509 in Noyon, France, and was raised in a staunch Catholic family. He studied at various universities in Paris and became a brilliant student, and he ended up getting to know some people who were influenced by the reformers like Luther, and got converted. And then early on in his life as a young man, he wrote his Institutes of Christian Religion, which is perhaps one of the best theology books you could ever read. And he became a great preacher, a great theologian, because Pharaoh wanted him to go to Geneva, threatened him with that God would be angry at him if he didn't go. He went, and he had a tumultuous time there with the Genevan people, but he became a great expositor of the Bible, was greatly used of God, and his commentaries are worth their weight in gold. So please read John Calvin. Folks, hope you're okay. Good to see you. One of my really favourite theologians is Saint John of Chrysostom, or Golden Mound. I'll just tell you a little bit here. He came into the world right about 344 in the city of Antioch. His mother was aged 20, was a model of virtue. In 374 he began to lead a life, ascetic life in the mountains. He came back down, and back home after he got ill health in 398, he became Archbishop of Constantinople and became one of the greatest lights of the church. He had a lot of enemies, and the Empress Eudoxia had him exiled. That's a little bit about John Chrysostom. But if you read his writings, he used the historical grammatical method. He expounded the Bible word upon word, and his commentaries even today are rich and valuable, and you would do well to read his commentaries. They are brilliant. And if you're a preacher, they are brilliant models for how you should expound the Bible. One of my favourites. Absolutely love the guy.